Hello, everyone. This is Alex Tremble, and welcome to the Executive Pill Podcast. Look, you know that this show is focused on, and well, look, not even this show, it's everything we work on our speaking, our coaching, our consulting, our leadership programs. Everything is laser focused on helping organizations prepare high performing leaders from all backgrounds to successfully transition to and excel in VP and senior VP executive level positions. And if you and your organization are serious about developing diverse and highly effective executive leaders, one, you're in the right place. And two, we love to hear from you. Please reach out to us at gpsleadership.org or our team at gpsleadership.org so we can discuss how we can work together to help you and your organization reach its leadership development goals. Finally, the Executive Pill podcast has now become one of the top 5% most popular shows in the world. How freaking awesome is this? I get excited every time I think about it. And this didn't happen by accident. It was you who made this happen, and it will be you who determines the continued success of this show. So please, if you enjoy this content, if you grow and if you believe that the items, the recommendations, the advice, the stories that are shared via this show help you reach your goals and become a better person, then please do us a favor and click that like button. uh, no, but don't stop there. Just go and click that subscribe button while you're doing it, and go on and share your thoughts and your questions in the comment section because we love to hear back from you and engage in those conversations. And as always, be sure to share this episode with at least one or two of your friends and close colleagues. Now, with no further ado, let me say today is a good day because I have a phenomenal leader with us today, Miss Samia Qamar. I was almost there, right? You're going to correct me when we get
Yeah,
started,
there.
but I do want to say Miss Mia is a Pakistani citizen with a rich experience in the HR field with over 16 years in multinational companies with multiple industries, which include healthcare, management consultancies, hospitality, and the financial services. And most recently, she's with S&P Global's director of people in Pakistan. Like this woman is just amazing. There's nothing else I could say. I mean, I could say also that she was listed as South Asia's top 100 power women. I mean, yeah, I could say that. Oh, I guess I could also say that she was inducted into the Women Appreciating Women Hall of Fame. Well, yeah, I guess I could stop there, but I guess I could keep going and just keep going down this list, saying she was inducted into the Global Library of Women Authors. She has been recognized by Women Economic Forum as an exceptional woman of excellence. She's been appointed the Global Goodwill Ambassador for Pakistan. Oh my God, if I keep talking about what she's done and who she is, we're not going to have enough time to talk today. How are you doing, madam?
First of all, Alex, thank you so much. This is such a huge prerogative to be here, and thank you so much for making me so special in your show. But I must say that I'm super thrilled to be here with you, especially because this is such an important show 5%. Like, this is huge success. I'm very happy to be here. Thank you so much for the invitation.
Ma'am, again, I've loved just knowing you and the conversation that you and have engaged in. And so when we decided to do this show together, I was like, look, we have to be able to share your story. So, would you mind just start off with, how long have you been in the role that you're in right now?
Of course. Before I share that, I'll tell you a bit about myself. I grew up in different cities in within Pakistan before my father got retired and we came here in Islamabad, not knowing in the early ages, like in my childhood age, I did not know that I'll be doing something like this and will be introduced in such a popular show at some stage. It's like a dream coming true. I did not even dream uh, to this extent. But I did my MBA back in 2006, and then I started my career not even knowing that I'll start something within human resources, and then I did my MPhil in human resources. So, just to tell you that I've always been first woman in everything, first woman to revamp the admin department into human resources function, which was a buzz thing, and that is why I did it at that time. While reasons might be different, they were different at that stage. And first woman who actually did something, meaning that I made this choice of going ahead and meeting client organizations as an HRD officer to get to understand their needs, and then first woman in two organizations amongst men. So it's a
Mhm.
huge prerogative. At the same time, like it's a lot of responsibility because people are judging, and then I have to make sure that I walk the talk so that others can also follow. I joined this organization back in 2013, assumed several roles, got so many expanded roles, got promotions. You must be thinking that why am I with this company till now? That's the secret question. Like 10 years, I did not even think about it in the past because I only spent at max 3 years. That was my average time with
Yeah.
previous organizations. But this company is so amazing. Like here I get the chance, and not only myself but people who work for S&P Global, they can vouch for that, and even those who aspire to be with S&P Global, this is the place of bestest and brightest. It
Yeah.
challenges you every day. It gives you so many opportunities of growth. And like the best part is that we follow the people first philosophy, which is
Mm.
demonstrating empathy. And so my most recent role, to answer your question, it has been 3 years. I got promoted back in 2020.
So, oh my God. Okay, look, everyone, you know where I'm going there. Like you shared so many awesome like just nuggets for us to pull on. Just but I do gotta say something. Like you talked about being the first woman in so many different areas. As I did a little bit of my research on you, I heard of you talking about a story where when you were younger, you wanted to be the lead in this organization, this team, this class, and you were getting the votes and everything, and then there is a professor or instructor who stepped in and was like, hey, how about you not do that? How about you just focus on, don't be a leader, just go back to class, focus on your studies. Like how did that experience impact you and lead to you coming being here where you are today?
First of all, I give you a lot of credit because I don't know how did you get to know about this story, but it is very interesting. I thought about sharing this story, but you brought me straight into it. So I'll tell you, there are times, see, there are moments in life, right, when you think that how did you transform into this woman? I'll tell you. So when so obviously when I think about it, even as I think about it, it takes me back to the fundamentals. When I think about my childhood, the best part is that my parents, they raised me. I was the fourth daughter in my family. They raised me so well. I did not ever know that life is very different outside. My brother was born after 1 year and 3 months, and nothing changed for me. And I'm sure many people might not understand. It's very different in different cultures, but especially for South Asia, it's more often than not it's an exception. So when I think about this, like the first time I came across this glaring disparity between men and women was this, it was at a very young age, right?
Mhm.
I was too young. I aspired to be the head girl. At the same time, my instructor wanted me to focus on education, which I was, being the second position holder. I always stood second. I dreamt to, oh, at that time, I always dreamt that how will it look like if I get a like trophy of the first position holder. But
Mhm.
anyway, when my instructor told me this statement, like that is something which I did not understand fully at that stage. He said, you better pay attention because your physique doesn't look like a leader. I came home, I still remember, it shook me to the core.
Yeah.
It had an immense impact on me, on myself. I thought probably something is not right about my physique.
Yeah.
Every day I used to look in the mirror and ask myself what was not right. And I was too tiny. I was too tiny, very, very slim, and I
Mhm.
did not eat much in my childhood times. And I hope I have a picture somewhere. I'll send it to you so that you can figure out I'm a different person right now. But every day, and when I came home, I asked my parents, like, what is my physique all about? What do I need to change? How can I change myself? But that day I realized that okay, this life is not fair and it's different, and my gender is hampering my ability to advance.
Mm,
But then that day I made a promise to myself that look, Samya, I will be a better person, I'll be a better human being. I will never try to put anybody down. I'm never going um, to put a dent on anybody's ego, or I'm never going to you destroy anybody's confidence. And it really had a big impact on my confidence in my younger days. I still remember I was like very, I became very shy. I thought like something is not right. But those moments
yeah,
really changed my life later.
yeah.
I'm happy that I had that journey very early on in my life, because that was the reality check. And at the same time, I started working on things very differently, that I have to prove myself, and that gender should not be a reason that I don't get those opportunities which are out there
Mhm.
for me.
I mean, again, you shared so much, and thank you for being willing to share that story, as well as, again, real like how it really impacted you from the aspect of both as a younger individual, younger as a child, you were really questioning who you were and all those feelings, and at the same time, now you're looking back on it and saying, well, that incident actually changed my life and it made me work even harder. How do so I just published my next book, Reaching Relationships at Work, and we talk about how um, at points in your life there are people who can say things that are really hurtful, um, but they're not meaning to. Like they think they're helping you. Oh, you shouldn't worry about that. Why don't you just go do that instead? They think they're helping you. They think they're shielding you from disappointment, but what you want is so much more, right? And it's like, so how do you go about um navigating those instances where people think they're helping you by giving you some advice to go sit down, but you know that you have more that you can give and that you can do.
So, one thing, I'll give a lot of credit to my mentors and my coaches. They have a very vital role in my transformation. And
Mm,
whenever I came across such situations, I've always spoken to them to seek their advice,
yeah.
and their power has been limitless. And one thing that I've learned from them is that none of the situations are bigger than the bigger purpose of life. Like, these situations will change, and they do change. So we should not be just focusing and looking at it just like they are, but rather I've started questioning myself, will it even matter in 2 to 3 years? Will it even matter after a week's time? Sometimes the answer
Mhm.
is no, absolutely not. So then why to worry about something
Yeah.
which is not there forever? And it was very different in my younger age, I'll tell you. I have spent so much time thinking, um, how am I coming across, how I'm going to be perceived, even those small situations. So especially when I was hurtful, like
Mhm.
days and days, I would think about it. What have I, like, what did I do wrong that
Yeah.
I got this result? But now when I look at it, I think like those things don't even matter. So one should be really determined about their bigger sense of purpose. I have my sense of purpose, which is to nurture talent for
Mhm.
scalable business and sustainable planet. I'm sure
Yeah.
you have your sense of purpose. So those people who have their sense of purpose, it doesn't really matter what people are saying, and should not, because the journey is truly interesting, and we'll get to find so many people along the way, which we should also be able to interact and collaborate with the ones who are putting us down. But also there are so many wonderful people just like yourself right now, who are always there to lift people up. So
Mhm.
why to worry about those small moments?
Goodness gracious, you're so freaking awesome. You're so amazing. I love it. I So two things. One, you make me think of a quote from former President Bill Clinton, U.S. President Bill Clinton. He said, "Take feedback," or you think he might have said criticism. Take criticism seriously, but not personally, right?
Lovely.
Because you can learn from anyone, right? Whether you like them or not, you can learn. But also at the same time, don't take it personally because it may be something stupid. So just you can always disregard those things. And you got me thinking, like when you talk about all your coaches and your mentors, um, like what is the best bit of advice that you've been given? And then would you mind sharing why was that what the best bit of advice you received?
Alex, if you don't mind, I have a ton of advices because I think, like, it's like a treasure that I'm holding and I don't want to hold it. I want to share my treasure with others.
Yes, ma'am. Please share away.
Okay. Because see, I learned it the hard way, but I really don't want others to learn it the hard way in case they get the advice and in case they find me um, worthy enough to get the advice from. So the bestest advice that I got, and there are so many, right? So like I said, I'm going to share very quickly. Uh, but the one, like two, three, in fact, those that stuck in my mind, and that those that are always there for me whenever I'm thinking something. First is like stretch yourself to the edge, never be comfortable with
Mm,
being in the comfort zone. Be comfortable with being uncomfortable. So that's the key. That
mm,
is very important for the personal growth, for the professional growth, for the career growth. Even as a human being also, we should be the best versions of ourselves. So we should never be comfortable because otherwise we will become irrelevant in the marketplace and how things
mhm,
are changing at such a super fast pace. So that is number one that stands out. Then, like I said, there are some others which are also very, very important to me. The other one is that, spend time with people strategically. It's very important, like those who can be of value to you. Either they are helping you, or they are giving you advices, or they are just there to cheer you up, or are being your advocates, rather than with those people, just to your point earlier, who are valuable but who are thinking like you, who are not challenging you. So rather, yeah, like, I'll spend my time more strategically with those people who are helping me in one way or another. And likewise, I'm always happy to help people. So it's a two-way street. It's never a one-way
mhm,
street.
mhm.
Um, the third is like choose your battles very wisely. Not all of them are there for you to manage, and not all of them are there for you to, like, because Rome was never built in a day, right? It takes time. Confidence is your best accessory. Wear it at all times. Like, don't think that you cannot contribute. You can
I love that.
always. You are. Everybody is different. Everybody has got a beautiful journey. So never. One should never underestimate themselves. That's what I learned, and that is what I'm always like happy to share. Confidence is the best accessory. We should really wear it very confidently. And some others are also there, but I also want to be mindful. Like, do I also want to be mindful of the time? So, like, personal brand is very important. Build that reputation. You should be known for who you are so that people start reaching out to you. You still have a brand even if you don't think about it strategically. The moment you leave the room, people are
Mhm,
talking about you. So how
mhm.
you want to be known for is something that you should be mindful of. So these are like 4 5 that I've shared. Otherwise, I have a long list, but really these help. Like, these are the ones which always have, that has, expanded my perspective, and I always think about these things before I take up any assignment or
Mhm.
any anything, like, even if I think about my growth. And lastly, one very well, because it is coming to my mind right now, so I
Yeah.
should not stop sharing. It's like, never think about, like, asking never hurts. So one should have courage to ask, because with asking, people get the clue that you are interested in something, and that is how you get those opportunities. But if you're always just thinking that if I ask, how am I going to look like, you will probably end up never having any kind of opportunities. And at the end of the day, what is going to happen? Just a no, maybe. So that no is never going to make any impact on the life. You will forget about that no the next day.
Uh, okay, so like here, this is me breaking the third wall. So, or fourth wall, fourth wall. Okay, so yes, fourth wall. So everyone who's listening right now, please share in the comment section which was your favorite of the six that she provided. I want to know which was your favorite. Which number one? We're gonna vote on this, and then whoever's vote wins, and we will send them some free butterscotch coffee. So butterscotch candy, and then we'll figure out how to make that happen. Um, that last one for me, I mean, all of them. I love all of them. I want to comment on each one of them. I'll just stick with the last one you did. Don't be afraid to ask. I still remember there was a woman I was coaching a couple years ago, and I actually talk about this. I'm not sure if I talked about this in the book or not, but she the training division had a bunch of money left over, and at the end of the year, and they were going to get rid of it. They got to spend it on something because they want to spend their resources that year. And so she was like, "Well, should I ask for some of that?" And I'm like, "Yeah, like definitely. Like if you got something they can spend the money on that's going to develop you as a leader, then shoot, ask." And she's like, "Okay, well, maybe I'll ask for I can probably get like a couple $1,000, do some programming." I'm like, "Sure, but is there something else you want? Like, is there anything else?" She said, "Well, there's this program that this OPM does, but it's like $25,000." And I'm like, "Look, ask for it. All they can do is say no." And she said, "Okay, I'll ask for one of the classes. Each class is $5,000." I'm like, "No, ask for all of it." And she's like, "Okay," and she asked, and they paid $25,000 for her to attend
Wow.
all these programs and get this certification as she became moved into the executive the ranks. She would have never gotten that if she wouldn't have asked. So just thank you so much for underscoring that.
This is such a wonderful story.
Well,
And
I
then,
want to ask. Oh, go on, please.
no, I said, and then what happened? Like, was she happy? What was her
Oh, she's
reaction?
extremely happy. I mean, she's still. I mean, she's still one of my clients, so we still talk all the time, and she always brings up. I'll never forget that you're the one who got them to. I'm like, because it doesn't cost you anything to ask. So again, I love that you underscored that. And since we started talking about training and leadership development, I'd love to ask you, like, well, really quickly, very quick side note. What time is it out there right now where
It's
you are?
11:42 p.m.
11:42 p.m. Everyone,
Islamabad.
11:42 p.m. She's here doing this interview, sharing her thoughts, sharing her ideas, her strategies. Um, yeah, this is what it looks like to one want something because you are doing this on your own time. You're not doing this in the middle of the workday. You are doing something on your own time to further also your brand because there are big things you want to continue doing as you grow in your leadership capacity. But this is 11 o'clock at night and you have energy, you are smiling, you are going at it. So I'm just anyone who's like, "Oh, I'm too tired. Oh, I want to get this promotion, but I can't attend this event because it's after work hours." Like, make it happen. So I just wanted to call that out. But then to the point about professional development, um, what does that look like out there versus maybe somewhere else in the country in the world because you work internationally. So are there differences that you see in professional development, leadership development practices?
So, Alex, honestly, if I tell you, it goes back to the fundamentals. The fundamentals are same; they are not changing. There are so
Hmm.
many opportunities when we talk about professional development. It can be a certification, it can be a workshop, it can be industry conferences, or simply like having or acquiring a skill set. It is not there is no difference in Pakistan. There are so many international bodies that are here in Pakistan as well, where you can
Hmm.
get to have those opportunities. And uh, for example, I did my certification from SHRM, Society for Human Resources Management, prepared from Pakistan. In everything, we have HR metrics that is associated with SHRM. So there are, I'm just giving one example here. So there are these opportunities which are available out for everyone, and you have rightly pointed that it depends on the career aspirations, it depends on the dreams that people might have. So there is no question, all those opportunities are available internationally, and social media and online programs have also made it so easy for anybody to be able to get to those. And then luckily I belong to S&P Global. S&P Global puts a lot of emphasis on career growth. So if somebody gets up and asks for growth, we even have tuition reimbursement as a benefit that is out available for people. So the opportunities are there. People just need to grab them in case those are aligned with their aspirations. That's how I would say.
Everyone, I hope you know, some of y'all might know, I was a setup question because I knew what she was going to say. The fact is, like you said, the fundamentals of the fundamentals. Like there are certain things people do to be better leaders. There are certain things people do to advance in their career, whether it's in the United States, whether in the UK, whether it's in Pakistan, whether it's in one of the countries in Africa, whether it's Australia. There are certain things that people do, and you have to know those things. One, you have to know those things, but two, you have to do those things. It can't just be you wanting something, you have to actually do it.
Absolutely, very well said. Because just getting a certification is never going to help if practically the competence is not built and the skill is not being applied.
Mhm.
So as long as people are applying, application is very important after learning something. So yeah, very well said, Alex.
Well, I want to ask you one last question before I know you got to squeeze out because I think you got to meet with some big powerful person, maybe the CEO of S&P. I think that's what you said, something like that.
You are the
So
most powerful person right now.
my wife doesn't say that.
You should share this recording then. She will then agree, I'm sure.
Oh goodness. So so I'd love to ask you, just throw this question on the table. Um, yeah, as an HR professional of a global organization, what's the big challenge you're seeing when it comes to, you know, growing and growing your workforce and retaining your workforce? What's the big challenge you're seeing?
So for Pakistan, I'll say we don't get to see challenge, but one thing that probably is an opportunity area would be the same thing. Like people need to be ready. The talent has to be ready.
Mm,
And how we are investing our time, not only myself, obviously we have so many leaders, they are doing such an amazing job, and in partnership with our people movement team where they go out and
mhm,
they are also imparting sessions just to make sure that people get to understand the culture, and at the same time helping them have those skill sets so that by the time they come and join the organization they are able to do so. So I think as students, one thing if I can advise is that I understand there are so many activities, so many hobbies, pressing hobbies, and then also we need to have time to watch Netflix and Amazon, and these were not available by the time I was of their age. So probably we had the luxury of having a lot of time and then we spent it by reading books or doing something else more productive. Our parents also never allowed to even watch a movie as long as the homework wasn't finished. So I would say that prioritize time
mm,
to actually get to understand organizations and what are they doing and what are the type of roles which are available and what is an expectation from someone at an entry level. This will definitely be helpful and this will benefit the talent. And also it will be like closing out the gap which is there between the academia as well
mhm.
as the corporate sector.
Absolutely, absolutely. Look, everyone. Sorry. Let me open the floor. Is there anything you'd like to share as we begin to wrap up today?
One thing that I can share is that, see, dreams are your dreams. Always pursue the dreams because this life is given to everybody for once. And we live this life for once. So instead of stressing about it, instead of not doing things that we love to do, rather, these are your dreams. Be in charge of your dreams. They are never too small. Nobody can tell you that this is a small dream or this is not a realistic dream or this cannot be fulfilled just because you belong to a minority group or an underrepresented group. So be in charge and give wings to your dreams because ultimately you can live your dreams and everybody can. I have lived without even imagining that I'll get all these opportunities that I've had, which I'm extremely humbled about. But this is my one message, that never stop dreaming and always believe in your dreams and then work hard to get those dreams and give life to those dreams. So that's all.
We couldn't have ended this episode any better. Like, if I can just really quickly follow up, just say, work to get your dreams. They're your dreams. Don't let anyone else take them from you. I love it. And then you talked about being ready, right? You can't just sit up here and say, well, one day when someone gives me an opportunity, then I'll invest in myself, then I'll grow those skills, then blah blah blah. It doesn't work like that. When someone's ready to offer you an opportunity, if you're not ready then to take
Exactly.
advantage of it, they're going to look at the next person who's ready. So please, please, please don't, like she said, prioritize your time to invest in yourself. Last thing I'll say, when you're watching Netflix, you're investing in Netflix. Like they're benefiting from it. They're getting your money. You are investing in them. So how can you also invest in yourself? And if you're on Netflix, maybe that's watching a documentary, right? In an area that you're interested in growing in. And if you really want to take action, you want to make sure you're ready to reach whatever the goal that is that you may have. I have to recommend you read the book Relationships That Work. You can find it on Amazon. It's a phenomenal book that again, that's what I'm being told by the people who are reading it. Like, it's a phenomenal book that I just published recently, and I absolutely poured my heart, soul into that book to just help as many people reach their goals as possible. Madam, thank you so much for being here with us today. I can't tell you how much I appreciate you and how much I learn every time I'm with you. I'm learning something and growing. So just thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Alex. The feeling is mutual, and I wish you all the success with the book launch. I'm looking forward to reading that book. As you can imagine, that I love to read books. So yeah, it was an absolute pleasure to be here with you. Thank you very much for the invitation once again.
Madam, anytime you want to come on. Everyone, you know where we're going. If you found something of value in this episode, don't just look back, reach back. Bring someone else to the table, and more importantly, bring the table to them. You can very easily click the like, click the share, click copy the link and send it to your friend or family member or colleague. If there's anything that you found of value in today's episode, don't keep it to yourself. Find someone else to share that with and allow their life to grow as yours has. And as always, I end my every single episode with stay strong, stay positive, and definitely stay moving. See ya.
Love it.
Thanks for listening to The Executive Appeal with Alex Tremble. I invite you to follow The Executive Appeal wherever you listen to podcasts. Follow me, your host, Alex Tremble, across all socials or via email for exclusive webinars, courses, and speaking engagements on continued topics of executive leadership. So until next time, stay strong, stay positive, and definitely stay moving.